Hello, it is the morning of Saturday, February 27th, 2021, and it's the morning of my chemotherapy cycle 8, day 1. So, in probably about actually a couple of hours' time, I'm going to be headed to the hospital for my 8th cycle of chemo. And, but I'm trying to keep my spirits up but a bit down about it because I know what the next few days is going to be like, or even today actually. The last couple of times, I've noticed that the second infusion I get, which is called the irinotecan, um, and I have an allergic reaction to it, so they give me a shot so that I don't have the physical reaction to it, but it does cause nausea. So then I take an anti-nausea thing, and then I feel kind of for the rest of the day. Um, which I mean is what it is, but I'm certainly not looking necessarily forward to that. And I know that my energy, my fatigue, and all kinds of things, the cold sensitivity, the neuropathy in my fingers and toes, and all that kind of stuff, um, that's going to, and just to not feel good in general, this is going to be a thing for the next week or so. So, not necessarily looking forward to that, but it is what it is. So, um, just knowing that that's what's going to happen. But again, that's what it is. I think also the other thing that I'm settling into is that yesterday I got my latest results of my CA19-9 tumor marker or cancer marker or some kind of marker that they specifically use to it's a blood test, and it shows whether and this is for specifically pancreatic cancer, and I think I've talked about this previously in the past in another video, but I think CA19-9 specifically is a blood marker that they use to track whether a person is responsive to the treatment that they're getting, to see um, how much of the CA19-9 is in the bloodstream. The higher it is, the more I think the more the cancer is prevalent is the idea of it. So that's been trending down for me since I started treatment back in October. And it dipped below 100 the last time, which would have been a month ago when the CA19-9 was taken the last time. It was 87, I believe. So that's been encouraging. It's been, like it feels good to know that these things that all these things that I'm doing is making a difference, and that my body is responding is a good feeling. And this is like we're literally talking about life and death stuff. So to know that there are certain things that are showing that like positive and encouraging is fantastic. So yesterday I got the results of the previous or the last. So I took my blood test for this chemo that's upcoming on Saturday on Wednesday, and the CA19-9 results take a couple more days than the rest of the blood work that gets done, I think, on site at PMH at Princess Margaret Hospital. The CA19-9, I think, is taken off site, so it takes a couple more days. So that was reported in my patient portal on Friday, and it looks like, and it has, my CA19-9 number has bounced up by 13 points. So it's at 100 this time around. So seeing that is discouraging, but and there was also another number for my blood test results on Wednesday for the LD. I don't know what that stands for exactly, but that had bounced up a little bit too. And those are just independent of one another. It's really tough to know what any of it means, especially since I had also taken a CT scan that they have results for from a week ago. And what they see from the CT scans is that a lot of things have diminished. And so, positive, like it's what they were able to see on the scan is very positive. And so some of the correlations, or some of the not the correlations, so some of the LD, the blood test result, and this CA19-9 on their own don't say a whole lot. At least that's sort of what, when I called in to ask them about that, is what they said to me. And it's more not taking independent test results, but to look at trends, which is a good way of thinking about it. But at the same time, it's tough. It's tough to see, something that's been trending down for a while, see that something has bounced up. And I tell myself it's slight, and it could just be a bounce, for this particular result in that particular time. And I just need to stay the course. I have chemo today, and that's going to. And I don't, and I'm not somebody who completely believes that it's all the it's chemo is the thing that's helping. Period. I think that there's a lot of different other things that are part of, if I am responding well and have been responding well, is a part of it, which is, just my overall well-being, like how I'm doing mentally and emotionally, how I'm taking care of myself physically, how I'm, um, just I think that it's a holistic thing. And so there's a part of me that I've been indulging in foods quite a bit, and a lot of like inflammatory, like sugary foods, which, because I have a sweet tooth, and I wonder if some of that might have a bearing, and I imagine maybe that it might. I mean, sugar is inflammatory, so I just need to just get kind of my self, and those things that for me are comfort foods, and I take pleasure in eating those things. And there may be some of you out there who are like, "Well, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that and stuff," but we're all. I mean, I know for myself that I'm under some stress conditions, based on what's going on, and I know, and in some unprecedented ways, like we're all under our own individual and unique pressures, and we're all dealing with them in different ways. And um, I went through a number of months last year before I was diagnosed where eating was something that was really difficult for me. I didn't feel like eating. It felt bad to eat, like physically bad to eat. And so when I started to feel better, which is, kind of interesting, when I was diagnosed, and then my jaundice, I got better from my jaundice, and then I've been getting the chemo and treatments. I actually got my appetite back, and not only did I get my appetite back, I've also been self-soothing, eating eating period, and also eating some um, things that I generally wouldn't kind of give myself the permission to eat, because I'd be like, oh, this is bad for me, and all that kind of stuff. So, and there's also a part of me that feels like, well, I don't know how long I have to, enjoy these things. So it's kind of like all of a muddled thing. But I think that there has been an overindulgence of those things in the last couple of months. So, maybe if I, for the next couple of months, just sort of rein some of that in to see whether or not there may be a difference. And, it may not make a difference, but it might also make a difference. It may also not. Um, it's actually impossible to know. Like, let's just say that I were to sort of like rein it in and even get like super strict about it, which I'm not going to, about my like nutrition and eating and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to get super strict about it, because that'll just stress me out even more. Let's just say that I were to do it and it were to make a difference, or that after doing so for some period of time, that that I see test results, or some other marker that tells me that there's been an improvement. I I mean, it could surmise that it is because of that or in combination with that and other things, but it can also be completely. I'm never gonna know what's actually helping and what's not, um, completely, and to what degree. And so I think, chemotherapy for sure has a very significant impact on my system. And I have to believe that there are other things that would also impact my system as well. Um, but to balance that out with my quality of life is the goal. So anyway, that's what I've been thinking about, and kind of feeling a bit blah about getting that result from yesterday. But in another month, we'll take another one, and we'll see where it goes. In terms of like treatment plan for the time being, I'm going to be completing 12 cycles of this particular chemo. So I'm at 8, so I have 4 more to go, and then there's going to be a reassessment as to what is going to be the next step. So that's where we're at the moment. And like I mentioned, I'm going to be preparing to go to the hospital in a couple of hours. So let me, and I think I started talking about how like I'll talk about like 3 things that of anything, um, just to list something out of a topic or whatever it is. Um, so let me think here. 3 things that I am. How about 3 ways in which I prepare for chemotherapy presently? Because the way in which I prepare for chemotherapy previously and how I prepare for it now are very different. So, firstly, I used to carry like this giant bag of all these kinds of things. I don't even know, like miscellaneous, like as though I'm like 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 a weekend away or something like that. Like it was literally almost like a weekender bag that I had like kind of packed to go to the hospital. And after a while, I realized that like 95% of the things I have in the bag I don't use. So I pack much, much, much lighter now. The most important thing for me is that for 5 hours that I have an understanding of what to expect. So for the first 2.5 hours, I have the oxaliplatin infusion, and that is what I get the onset of the cold sensitivity with that one. So I prepare to make sure that I don't touch anything cold or too metallic or something like that, because the onset of it is pretty quick once the infusion starts. So I prepare for that, and know that that's going to be something that I will feel for 2 or 3 days afterwards. It intensifies probably about day 2 or so. Actually, no, it's intense for the very beginning, and then it just kind of goes away after 2 or 3 days. So I prepare for that. I prepare now specifically for the the irinotecan infusion, which is the second one that happens, which is another 2 hours, and I know that that is going to just kind of like beat me around a little bit. So I try to nap through that or just rest through it, and just some deep breathing, because I know that I'm not going to feel too great, all that kind of stuff. So I prepare for it that way. And yeah, and I think like thirdly, it's just a long time to be in the hospital. So I'm there for about 5.5 hours, and I see people come and go. And recently, in the last month and a half or 2 or something like that, I changed to Saturdays rather than Fridays, which I am very thankful to have done, because Princess Margaret Hospital is a very busy hospital, and on Fridays it's just like a train station. Well, it's like a train station on most weekdays. There's people coming and going, and beepers going off, and all this kind of stuff. And it's that's true. The beepers go off on Saturdays too, but there's certainly not as many people, and I also don't have to wait for as long to get my chemotherapy started, because if I go on Fridays, not only does the chemotherapy itself take 5.5 hours, there's an additional hour that I have to wait before I can get into a chair before I even get started. So it ends up being 6.5 hours. Really, really, really long day. So so I've changed that up, and that's, I think, a part of the preparation. And yeah, like, just to have a sense that, like, yeah, of doing this treatment for 5.5 hours, and then to get the pump that gets connected to me that I then wear for another 46 hours. And just, yeah, just getting mentally prepared for it. I don't know that I do anything specific apart from, I think, being cognizant of the day before, which was like yesterday, Friday, of just enjoying myself, and just having, as pleasant of a day, and to go get out and do things that maybe I'm not going to be as keen to do, or maybe able to do for the next few days. That's part of my preparation. And I know that for the rest of the day after I get back from the hospital, I'll probably be pretty fatigued, and to just allow myself to rest. Before, I think I just kept on thinking, it's like, no, I could do this, I could do this, or I'm stronger than this, and this kind of like self-talk. But it's some hard knocks that my system and myself takes. So to allow myself just to rest, and to just be in the moment of the experience. So those are the three things. I think if I probably might have given more, and it probably wasn't very organized, but that's what it is for today. So here I go to chemo, and I hope you're having a good day, and you're taking care. And as always, I appreciate all the support and all the love and care that I receive. And please keep thinking of me if you don't mind. I would really, really appreciate it. I believe, I do. I really, really do believe in the power of love and care. And if you do have, if you to spare, a bit to spare for me, yeah, if you can think shrink for me, I would very much appreciate it. And I send out love and care for you. Please do, though, first and foremost, love and care for yourself and those around you. And chef's kisses to you. And I will talk to you again real soon. Bye.